Should you focus on memorizing the Quran or should you focus on understanding the Quran? Inshallah, in this video, I'll be talking about a subject which is always asked by students of the Quran and students of Islamic knowledge on whether you should focus on memorization, and we're talking about the Quran here specifically, or whether you should focus on understanding. Now, if you're watching this video, then you're probably an adult and you're asking this question. Before I get started on the adult side, let me answer the side from the children. So if you're a child and you're watching this video, then you should focus on memorization of the Quran over the understanding. And the reason for that is because when you're young, it's easy to memorize things and it's easier to memorize the Quran. So definitely focus on memorization. And if your school or madrasa has a curriculum to understand the Quran as well, then that's fantastic and you just follow that curriculum. But if they don't, then just focus on memorization. If you're an adult, now, if you're an adult, it's a slightly different thing. Now, you should focus on understanding the Quran and understanding your religion more than memorization. But for me personally, I found that memorization reinforces the understanding. And let me explain that a little bit more. So, firstly, the ulama, what is the hukum when it comes down to fiqh and aqidah, and what is the hukum when it comes down to memorization? We know the hukum of knowing your aqidah, knowing your belief, and knowing your fiqh is that it is wajib, fard. Yeah? So, طلب العلم فريضة على كل Muslim, that the seeking of knowledge is faridah, is fard on every single Muslim, compulsory on every single Muslim. What is meant here is knowing who Allah is, knowing your beliefs, knowing the difference between halal and haram. This is the original or the base meaning of that hadith. And generally, of course, that you should always seek knowledge too. But it's talking about fiqh and aqidah mostly. What is the command or what is the hukum of memorizing the Quran? Of course, memorizing the Quran is a noble act. And Alhamdulillah, I spent 7 years of my adult life and I still spend every day today, memorizing and revising the Quran. I spent a long time, and you should also memorize, but it is sunnah. It is sunnah. It's mandub to memorize the Quran. So, what's more powerful? What's more important? That thing which is fard and wajib, or that thing which is sunnah? Of course, that thing which is fard or wajib is more important. But for me personally, I found in my experience that doing these two things side by side helped me reinforce the other. So I started off, as you know, we've seen many videos on my channel, but I started off with fixing the tajweed and the recitation first. And I attended classes with the ulama and the qurra to ensure that my recitation was correct. And as soon as I got my pronunciation to a certain level, then alhamdulillah, I started memorizing the Quran, and I would just read to the story where I was reading with my friend, and then later on with any random teachers before I settled with a proper teacher. I never actually had one proper teacher, but I had many proper teachers, alhamdulillah. So memorizing the Quran helped me reinforce the understanding. However, understanding is more important, and understanding the Arabic language is key to understanding the Quran. Now, memorizing or going on to courses, Arabic language courses, are of different types. And what I found is that even the Islamic Arabic courses that you find out there in general are not up to par for what you need to understand the Quran. My regimen that I use is alhamdulillah a research which was done by Dr. Abdul Aziz, and I used that vocabulary that he researched along with the grammar and the nahwa and sarf that was taught in the other classes and courses, and then I was able to bring those together to then deepen the understanding of the Quran. And indeed, the course that I'm developing right now, alhamdulillah, I'm just looking, we're on lesson number 29, which is getting there, alhamdulillah. I'm sure you've seen the progress. Last video I was talking about, we're on lesson number 15 or 17 or something. So on lesson number 29, and we're going to move forward to lesson number 30, inshallah. The Quranic Arabic course that I'm developing is specifically so you can understand the Quran directly. It took me 3 years. I spent a total of around about £3,000 just, going onto the different courses and learning the Arabic that I needed to come onto this one level of understanding that I have today. And inshallah, and it took me over 3 years to develop that understanding. What I'm doing is I'm building it all together and putting it into one course. But that's an aside. So you should focus on understanding the Quran, but also memorizing. So if we're going to say that this hand is for understanding and this hand is for memorizing, we just put it over one another like that. Yeah, so as an adult, I would say is that understanding is more important, but memorizing is right there just underneath. And for me, like I said, as I was memorizing the Quran, it then made me reinforce, because every time I was rereading, every time I was revising those ayat, I want to deepen my understanding of the Quran. That continues till today. Inshallah, that will continue to the day I die. Because there is no way that I could ever understand, or any individual could go through all of the works of the ulama that have been written on the Quran up until this day. Is it possible? There's no way that that could happen. So therefore, every time I read the ayah, there may be a new thing that I think, oh, I don't understand what this means. Let me go and look in the tafsir. Let me go and look, are there any hadith on this matter? Let me go and look, what did the Sahaba say on this? Let me go and look, what did the Tabi'un say on this? Let me go and look, what did these pious scholars say on this? Let me go and look and ask my teacher, who I have access to right now, what did he say on this? I'm always that memorization and that revision is helping me understand. So therefore, it needs to go side by side, but focus on understanding more than memorization. Of course, many of the people who are watching this channel are here because they want to memorize. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you to memorize the Quran, inshallah. Ameen. And also enable you to revise it again and again and again, because that's when your understanding will unlock. Indeed, the repetition of the Quran is where your understanding of it will increase as well. So that's where memorization and understanding come hand in hand. And I would urge you to learn specific Quranic Arabic. Alhamdulillah, you can go into your standard Arabic courses which are out there, or you can wait for the course. There should be a link in the description. If I've developed it already, the link will be in the description and you can enroll on that, inshallah. And I'll see you on the other side, because it will deepen your understanding. You can ask me any questions that you have, and inshallah, I will try to answer them. And if not, I have plenty of teachers who I can access, and we can get the answers together. So focus on understanding and side by side memorization, but understanding more and memorization just a little bit less, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your journey to understanding the Quran and the religion easy. Now, just before I go, the same applies to hadith. Although hadith has a bit more general language which is used in there, so that's where your general advanced Arabic studies will help you in hadith. I'd always say focus on understanding the Quran first. Why? Because it's the core of our religion. The Quran is what is recited every single day. It's recited in prayers, in your salah, of course. And by learning, by the way, learning on our Arabic course that are developing, or is developed, check the link in the description, you will definitely be able to understand your salah from the time that you say Allahu Akbar to the time that you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You'll be able to understand the whole salah, inshallah, with the course. So, inshallah, I'll see you on the next video.